we need to talk about the America's Got Talent docu-series on Netflix because ooh child, them saxophones was playing real loud. Was Tyra Banks really the big sister mentor that she claimed she was, or did we all just get it wrong? Let's get into it. Being someone who used to love this show, I'm low-key having secondhand embarrassment seeing all the things that are coming out, because it's like, why didn't one think about this before? We're talking about a show that paid girls little to no money to endure hypothermia, racial experiments, and a lot of emotional gaslighting. America's Next Top Model, also known as ANTM, was a show that launched in 2003 with the main host being Miss Tyra herself. And now, a few years later, Netflix has come out with a docu-series called Reality Check that shows the conditions that these girls had to endure. All of my opinions and the things that I say in this video is solely based on the fact that I have watched America's Next Top Model and also then seen snippets, which we will be reacting to in this video of the docu-series, but I haven't seen the whole docu-series in itself. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Tyra Banks started this show claiming that she wanted to fight the fashion industry by celebrating diversity, so to speak. She'd pick girls from their unique looks and then basically try to strip them off of that and change it into something else. So essentially, the show wasn't meant to build these girls' confidence. This was literally a crash course in humiliating these girls. The question remains, like, at what cost? How humiliated do you really want to become in order to get there?
What if I created a show where you saw what it took to become a model?
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're exploring the all-new secrets and scandals exposed by Netflix's 3-part top model docuseries Reality Check. Tyra Banks thought she was honoring diversity in race-swapping photo shoots.
We are actually going to switch your ethnicities. The challenge here really is taking on the persona of that other ethnicity while in the photograph and owning it.
You know what? I think this race swapping dilemma that we're seeing going on here was seen as a positive thing. So maybe in Tyra's head, it was like, okay, we're doing something new that is embracing the different, you know, ethnicities. But now in 2026, it doesn't make sense. Now it becomes black. Well, it has always been blackface, but now it becomes more problematic because we have social media. But I can understand the idea sort of, because I like to give people grace on this channel, y'all. I really try to understand the way people be thinking sometimes.
Envelope pushing and often tasteless photo shoot themes. In particular, challenges in Cycle 4 and Cycle 13 saw their contestants asked to don makeup and clothing that represented a race or ethnicity other than their own.
Tiffany, you're gonna be Native American. Brittany, an African American woman.
Looking at the show now through the 2020 lens, it's an issue, and I understand 100% why.
What I said. Exactly that. The mentorship that Tyra Banks gave to these girls was shown as a lot of tough love. Seeing this come out now and people are talking about harassments on sets, I can only imagine how hard it was for these girls to speak up about the things that they went through. When you see it from that point of view, one can definitely say that these girls became like background characters to Tyra's show because there were other co-hosts, but Tyra became the main attention. It was called America's Next Top Model, but only a few models actually have real recognition today, which we'll be talking about 2 of them later on in the video. All of them made no noise, and Tyra, she's still relevant today. So what was it all for? Were you there for the girls or were you there for yourself?
Cycle 12 brought out the waterworks when they competed to see who could cry on command.
I used to be able to like fake cry like with tears.
Oh, I can.
Let's have a competition.
Highlight of my day, Courtney, Celia, Allison, and I had this battle royale that was just beautiful.
I'm just trying to understand, how is this relevant for modeling? This seems more towards the acting part of the industry, but I don't know.
London wins.
Shut up. London,
Yeah.
I
couldn't produce. I was like shooting of something.
I'm having a blast.
It's just kind of like up and down and crying all the time. That's so.
And I can just feel the pride that one would experience from winning this show, being that it was so hard to actually go through all the steps and all the requirements and changes that they wanted you to do, both physically and mentally, to become the best of the best. So even though it was challenging, these girls were probably very proud of themselves when they came out on the other side. As I mentioned earlier, there are only 2 models who I can recall that have actually made a career out of their experience on ANTM. Mainly one, that being, drumroll, Winnie Harlow. You know, Winnie's story is really an example that you shouldn't let people define you. The reason why she stuck out in my mind when I watched this show is because she stood up for herself. Throughout her career, that has been her main message, to be able to uplift people. Having that skin condition does not set any value on who you are or who you can become. Winnie really pushed that limit when she actually gained status outside of the show, to the point where, you know, so many years later, people can still remember her. Tyra mentions both in interviews from the docu-series and in America's Next Top Model that her whole aim with the show was to bring out diversity and show different looks in women and models, and how that could be, you know, seen in a good light. She was taking accountability for the fact that a lot of the things that they did was for the shock value of viewers. It was for a reaction. Eventually backfires, and that's what happened now when people are reacting to the things that actually were going on, things that were being said. They did the same for the girls. They pushed them until they saw who could break first. But I'm curious to know, what do you think about this? Was Tyra actually trying to help the girls prepare for a harsh industry, or was she doing way too much? Let me know in the comments down below. When it comes to the safety aspect of America's Next Top Model, these women were pushed to the absolute brinks of it all. For girls who didn't make it big like Winnie, this show was like a waste of their time, honestly, because like you went through all of that and now what? They took like young and vulnerable girls, because some girls were like 18. When you're really ambitious and you want to make something out of life, you know. Y'all prepare to see an iconic moment right now from the show.
One of the most iconic screaming matches on reality television, insulting nicknames from professionals, racism, homophobia, fat shaming, and that's just the beginning. Here are moments from America's Next Top Model no one will ever forget. Tyra Banks forced Cycle 6 winner Danielle Evans, now referred to as Danny, to get the gap in the front of her teeth closed. Banks sent Danny and another contestant to the dentist to get their teeth fixed, though Danny initially refused to change anything about her smile. She told the dentist that she loved the gap, embracing the way she was. However, when it came down to the panel, Banks gave her the impression that she either had to get her gap closed or leave the competition. Banks asked Danny if she believed it was possible for her to have a CoverGirl contract with her gap, and even went so far as to mimic her feature by putting her finger in front of her own teeth. Ultimately, Danny ended up in the bottom 3.
This is where I get confused, because you do one thing on, like, you embrace the feature on one person and then you're trying to take it away from another. Eventually, the show stopped having as high ratings and just died down after 24 seasons. I don't necessarily think that Tyra played a huge role in paving the way for many of these girls' careers, unlike Winnie, who paved her own way outside of the show and she made something out of her career. I still think that the show had an impact. I think that some people got something out of it. She had a vision behind why she was doing what she was doing. At the end of the day, America's Next Top Model was a product of its time. It gave us diversity when the high fashion world was basically just one look, but it did it in a way that was often very cruel for the people who participated. Some people argue that the modeling world really is that mean and that Tyra was trying to show them this reality, but honestly, you can still teach someone to walk a runway without making them feel horrible about themselves. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to, as always, interact by commenting down below, give it a huge thumbs up, or make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.